In this video, I want to share with you 7 pro-metabolic foods that you should be including in your PCOS diet. So keep watching to find out what they are. Now, before we get into what these 7 foods are, let's briefly just touch on what the metabolism is, because I feel like this word is thrown out a lot, but what is metabolism? So the metabolism is a term to describe chemical processes that occur to maintain the life of cells and organisms. It's the process of converting food into energy. Now, the metabolism can be divided into 2 categories, and these categories are catabolism and anabolism. Now, you probably have come across these 2 terms. Catabolism, the way you can think about it, is the breakdown of cells to create energy. Anabolism centers around building and growth, so you can think of anabolism as going to the gym and building muscle. That's like the anabolic state. Now, both these states of metabolism can occur simultaneously, but more often than none, in our current society, we are really often running on catabolism. The body is there of catabolism. It's breaking down cells for energy. For example, if you're fasting, if you're going low carb, your body is having to break down muscle cells, cells like muscle organs, connective tissue, to get the glucose, the sugar it needs. Now, research shows that women with PCOS tend to have a low BMR. This is the Basal Metabolic Rate. So this is essentially the amount of calories you burn while at rest. Now, in order to boost your metabolism, you commonly see that exercise more will boost your metabolism. Yes, exercise is great, lifting weights is great. You'll put yourself in that anabolic state where you're building muscle, muscle is more metabolically active than fat. As I've mentioned in numerous of my videos, women with PCOS tend to have low thyroid. And here's the thing, thyroid is often referred to as the hormone powerhouse. And the reason is because it has a role to play in various functions in the body within metabolism, heart rate, ovulation. See, every single cell in the body needs thyroid hormones to function properly. So if a thyroid is underactive, which is the term for is hypothyroidism, when the thyroid is not producing enough of the thyroid hormones, then all these functions begin to slow down. So in order to support the metabolism, to boost it, eating these pro-metabolic foods which basically work to support the thyroid and support other mineral imbalances that could be, causing the thyroid to be sluggish. Your metabolism can be fixed when you address the thyroid and the whole body, like holistically. So these 7 foods research has shown can help support the thyroid, boost your metabolism as the pro-metabolic, which means that it is taking you out of this catabolic kind of state where you're where stress hormones are rising to essentially break down cells in the body for energy. So the first food is fruit. Now, I've spoken a lot about fruit, sugar, carbs, because I feel like there's this fear around fruit, fructose, sugar, carbs. Fructose is natural sugar found in fruit. And fructose is actually more thermogenic than glucose. So it creates more heat, helping to increase the metabolism. Fructose has little effect on insulin and blood sugar. So when you eat fructose, research has shown that it can increase insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. So fructose enters the cell without the assistance of insulin and can be used as energy. By avoiding sugar and not providing your body with its primary fuel source, you you're going through a process called gluconeogenesis, where stress hormones rise to break down muscle cells, connective tissue, organs, to end up creating glucose. And while these stress hormones can break down fat for energy, it's also liberating free fatty acids. And when these free fatty acids flood the bloodstream, this is when we can cause serious issues. One of these major drawbacks and an issue when supporting the metabolism is that you are producing less carbon dioxide and more lactic acid. So instead of producing, glucose to carbon dioxide, it's glucose to lactic acid. And it's this lactic acid that indicates stress or a defective respiration. So when you're avoiding sugar, the body is obviously having to break down fat, and obviously fat doesn't produce as much carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is needed to transport and liberate oxygen. So as a result, slowing down metabolism, you're having less energy and more hormonal imbalance. Now, the next food on the list is coconut oil. Now, research shows that coconut oil is pro-thyroid. See, again, we need to be supporting the thyroid to be supporting the metabolism. I know a lot of you are thinking coconut oil is saturated fat, but I recommend checking out my Foods for PCOS weight loss video, where I break down why coconut oil isn't bad and why saturated fat is better than unsaturated fats, specifically those polyunsaturated fats that you probably heard me talking a lot about. Coconut oil, unlike PUFAs, sustain healthy blood sugar levels and protect the mitochondria against stress damage. So that's coconut oil. The third on the list is dairy. It's another food. As you'll probably see throughout these foods, I guess I know how you must be feeling. You're probably thinking, all of these foods I've heard are bad for PCOS, they're bad for health. But from my research, I've discovered that everything said to be pretty much bad is actually good for you. So dairy, again, I have a whole video on this, so I recommend checking out that video. The reason dairy is pro-metabolic is actually the calcium. So the mineral found within dairy, calcium supports the metabolism. Research shows when there's a deficiency in calcium or magnesium, parathyroid hormone rises. Now this is PTH, is released from the parathyroid gland. Now PTH can rise in order to increase calcium absorption, but to also remove calcium from bones to help increase calcium levels, obviously when calcium is low in the blood. So as you can see, PTH can be catabolic to the body, affecting the metabolism. Now in excess, PTH can also trigger an increase in the production of interleukin 6, which is an inflammatory cytokine. So obviously increasing inflammation isn't going to be very pro-metabolic and supportive to our body and to our hormones. So making sure that we're consuming enough calcium, which is predominantly found in dairy, is important to help lower PTH, inflammation, interleukin 6, and to really be supporting the metabolism. The fourth food on the list is liver. Now I know liver, or consuming any kind of organ, is a little bit strange for some people, but liver is a nutritional powerhouse. It's got tons of vitamins and minerals, and I specifically want to speak about vitamin A. This is the vitamin that's supportive of the metabolism. And speaking of vitamin A also found in dairy too. So it's a great way to be getting tons of great vitamins and minerals that's supportive of the metabolism. We need retinol to help activate copper. See, in order for copper to be activated, it needs to be turned into ceruloplasmin. We need to load it into ceruloplasmin to allow for ferrox oxidase to function. And copper is needed for us to use oxygen properly to help produce energy. Now, I know a lot of people don't like liver, they don't like the taste of liver. So it's great that there are desiccated liver capsules that you can buy and just take and not have to taste the liver. So I will include the brand that I personally use and recommend in the description box down below. So check that out. The fifth food on the list is coffee. Now, coffee supports the thyroid and increases the metabolic rate. How, you ask? Caffeine increases your cellular consumption of glucose, which is what happens when you increase your metabolism. So because caffeine increases your metabolism, it also increases your need for nutrients. Now, I have a YouTube video talking about the benefits of coffee for PCOS and how coffee isn't bad. It's really about how you drink it and when you drink it. So here's the thing. If you drink caffeine and your body doesn't have a tank full of fuel, you haven't nourished yourself enough, you haven't given your body the fuel, the glucose it needs to meet this rise in the metabolism and increase in the metabolic rate, then it's obvious that stress hormones will rise to get the body the nutrients it needs to meet this increase. The sixth food is animal protein. Okay, so protein is we need adequate amounts of protein, between 80 to 100 grams of protein per day, because protein is needed to help produce our thyroid hormones, and it's needed for detoxification, liver detoxification. And finally, the final food, which I guess isn't necessarily a food, but it's salt. So sodium is pro-metabolic. Salt restriction causes an increase in stress hormones like adrenaline. This causes us to retain sodium and excrete potassium, which in turn leads to water retention and high blood pressure. Dietary salt actually lowers the pituitary stress response and therefore lowering cortisol, and helps to balance blood sugar levels, because when cortisol is high, blood sugar levels spike to give you energy. Research by Xavier et al. In 2003 found a low sodium diet accelerates the decrease in heat production that normally occurs with aging, lowering the metabolic rate of brown fat and body temperature, and increasing the fat content of the body, as well as the activity of fat synthesizing enzyme. But this doesn't mean that you go ahead and just douse tons of salt on your food. It's just about knowing how to season your food well and just adding pinches of salt here and there to just make sure you're getting that mineral, that important mineral to help increase your metabolism and provide your body with the carbon dioxide. So what is the best type of salt? Well, the best type of salt is canning salt, as this is the purest form of salt. There's no removal of any other minerals during processing, and there are no other additives included. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it gave an insight into how to actually go about boosting your metabolism, increasing your metabolic rate through supporting your thyroid, through eating nutrient-dense foods, great source of minerals and vitamins, to be making sure that you're nourishing your body, providing it with the fuel it needs and the minerals it needs to create energy the right way, rather than creating energy through being in a catabolic state of constantly having high stress hormones, high adrenaline, high cortisol, running off them rather than running off your primary fuel source, which is glucose, which is sugar, and producing carbon dioxide. So I really hope that this helps you. I hope you will now see these 7 foods that are often said to be bad and you should avoid them in a new light, and see how these 7 foods can be really powerful and nourishing to the body and really help you support your thyroid, which will then support your metabolism, which will then support your hormones helping you to have more energy, helping you to reverse those PCOS symptoms and just thrive in life. So if you have any questions about these foods, or if you just have any questions at all, please let me know. Drop them in the comment section below. If you're interested in online coaching, a consultation, booking a consultation with me, and we can talk about how to support your thyroid, how to support the metabolism through both nutrition and exercise and other lifestyle habits, then feel free to email me at info@pcosOracle.com. I'll have the email address in the description box down below, and my website, pcosOracle.com. Please reach out. Let me know if you have any questions. Give the video a like. I really appreciate it. Share the video to help people really know how to help boost their metabolism, rather than doing things that they think are boosting metabolism when they're actually creating a slow metabolism and increasing aging. And subscribe for plenty more videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.